He found out the true identity of that special investigation team. In ancient times, the warrior breaks mortal laws with his blade, the immortal defies the heavens with arcane power. Now, the cultivation civilization is flourishing again. The secular world naturally needs a privileged organization to maintain order in the world. The special investigation team is led by female master, and is one of the privileged departments set up for the cultivation world. It is specifically responsible for supervising the conflicts between the cultivation world and the secular world. However, because this incident involves their leader's own daughter, they are not at liberty to say much. They hope Stetson does not mind. Stetson smiled, indicating that it's okay. This matter is also private for us. After all, she is not just your leader's daughter, but also our junior sister. Upon hearing this, both Eleanor and John were stunned for a moment. After he realized, he guessed it. Their leader and Ethan's relationship with Taoist Master. Eleanor is extremely excited. She didn't expect there was such gossip. Soon, the group finally arrived at the location of this mission. This is also the university where little junior sister is studying. Next, it will be handed over to Stetson and senior sister. The teenager became the enemy of all male students as soon as he entered college. Just because he not only has a beautiful senior sister as his girlfriend, he also has a beautiful senior who throws herself at him. According to the information provided by Eleanor, a cultivator has infiltrated the university campus. In a way similar to MLM, they are spreading the cultivation method, and little junior sister is one of the many students who have been recruited. Currently, the revival cultivation of heaven and earth chi is still a secret to the outside world. It's hard to say that they are not up to something when they are promoting cultivation so aggressively at this time. What Stetson wants to do is to disguise himself as a couple of exchange students to enter the campus. They aim to investigate the whereabouts of the cultivator and rescue little junior sister. Soon after he checked in, senior sister sent a message. She found remnants of chi in little junior sister's room, most likely caused by a talisman. She asked Stetson what to do next. Stetson advised senior sister not to alert the enemy for the time being. If possible, try to create an opportunity to get to know little junior sister first. Soon after that, senior sister sent a sticker over. It looks like she has gotten into character. She is having a great time playing. And Stetson was looking at little junior sister's photo. Little junior sister, named Ruthie, is a sophomore majoring in economics and trade. According to the information provided by Eleanor, a cultivator infiltrated the university campus to promote cultivation. Little junior sister was also deceived as one of the victims. As a result, she had a conflict with the female master and cut off contact. Perhaps because of this, the female master had to contact the master in the hope that he could help save little junior sister. Later, Stetson and senior sister arrived at the student cafeteria. He originally planned to have senior sister go up and start a conversation according to the plan. But this was proving to be very difficult for senior sister, who was not eloquent. Stetson advised senior sister not to feel pressured. She is master's daughter. Just treat her like one of us, that's all. Stetson suddenly noticed the true essence on little junior sister's body. Surprisingly, it already appeared, and this true essence is quite similar to the one cultivated by him in the previous lifetime through a makeshift cultivation method. It seems that things are not so simple. So he told senior sister that the plan had changed. He would first go and try to contact junior sister. Upon hearing this, senior sister breathed a sigh of relief. Stetson also turned his head towards little junior sister and slowly approached. He was about to start a conversation. He suddenly heard someone behind him calling his name. This scared him, causing his phone to suddenly drop on the ground. Stetson turned his head to take a look. He couldn't help but stare for a moment, realizing that it was his previous senior, Louisa. He didn't expect that the next second, senior jumped into his arms. Excitedly, she said, "It's really you. How come you're here?" Seeing this scene, senior sister's face immediately darkened. At the same time, the The boys around were shocked and looked at Stetson. Then they turned angry. Who is this person? Louisa even has time to have a secret lover. I just saw that kid seems to have a girlfriend, right? Can't stand it. Let's kill him. The boys around were about to rush up and beat Stetson. Senior quickly explained. Don't make a fuss. This is my high school junior who once saved my life. In the previous lifetime, Senior was disabled due to a car accident. And Stetson, after being reborn, appeared on the scene early to help her through the crisis. Although he took a little risk, he feels it was worth it seeing her healthy and well now. At this moment, Stetson suddenly placed his hand on Senior's shoulder. He greeted with a smile. Senior's face turned slightly red. But actually, Stetson is not a pervert. Instead, he placed his hand on Senior's shoulder to sense her spirit power and found out that she didn't have any spirit power. That's how he confirmed that she had no connection to little junior sister. At this moment, someone suddenly asked from the side, "Classmate, you dropped your phone." Stetson turned his head to look. It turned out to be little junior sister, who just picked up his dropped phone and handed it back to him. He quickly took the phone and said thank you. He warmly expressed that could this classmate conveniently at WeChat. As a token of gratitude, I will treat you to a meal later. But he was politely declined by little junior sister. Seeing this, Senior couldn't help but cover his mouth and chuckle. What? You wouldn't have intentionally thrown your phone behind her, would you? Stetson smiled awkwardly. He quickly changed the subject and introduced his girlfriend to Senior, asking the two to get to know each other. However, Senior sister looked at him with a gloomy expression, as if saying, "Weren't you supposed to learn about junior sister's situation? Who is this girl? Is Senior of higher status, or is Senior sister of higher status? How should I communicate with her?" Stetson was sweating profusely. He advised Senior sister to calm down. Later, Stetson took Senior and Senior sister to a small grove. He briefly explained the situation to Senior, indicating that he was here to investigate a few unstable elements hiding in the school. He hoped Senior could provide some clues. Senior thought for a moment upon hearing about the unstable elements and felt that there shouldn't be such individuals in the school. So Stetson asked again, "Senior, has anyone invited you to join any strange clubs or organizations recently? For example, clubs related to martial arts, magic, longevity, or even cultivation?" Being asked that, Senior suddenly remembered a poster she had seen before that seemed related to what Stetson was talking about. She immediately sent it over to Stetson. This is a recruitment poster for a club called Supernatural Inspiration Club. Stetson looked at the promotional slogan above. He felt that this should be what they were looking for. He immediately stood up from the ground. He told Senior that this was enough. "I will have someone protect you in secret. From now on, you should pretend you've never seen me and Senior sister." Senior nodded. She watched as Stetson and Senior sister left. Their departing figure seemed surprisingly lonely. She thought to herself, "So that's the Senior sister he's been mentioning in his messages. No wonder he's been so distracted on the mountain. If I didn't meet your Senior sister today, I might have thought you were going to renounce the secular world and become a Taoist." The era of heaven and earth Chi revival and universal cultivation begins. But unexpectedly, even the unspoken rules have spread to the cultivation world. He learned about it from Senior. Stetson and Senior sister then began to investigate. That night in a small forest outside the school, a dozen students formed a circle, surrounded a yellow-haired man in the middle. The yellow-haired man was still brainwashing them. "Don't think the membership fee is expensive. Everything requires investment. You are investing in yourselves now. Only this way can you truly reach the peak. Start cultivating now." And at this moment, Stetson and Senior sister were standing on a tree not far away with achievements in cultivation. They heard the conversation clearly. Stetson couldn't help but complain. Are they promoting cultivation or running a pyramid scheme? The leader indeed has cultivation achievement. However, if they are just cultivating, these people are not violating any rules. After some thought, Stetson decided to send the photos to Eleanor for investigation first. At this time, Senior Sister suddenly reminded Stetson to look over there. Stetson looked up and asked Senior Sister if there was any situation. Senior Sister shook her head. Stetson looked puzzled in the direction pointed by Senior Sister. Just saw the yellow-haired man just now. At this moment, he is talking to a young girl with a smirk on his face. Stetson listened to what he was saying. He was instantly speechless. Can even cultivation now play by unspoken rules? Then he asked Senior Sister to continue watching here. He followed up to take a look. The yellow-haired man quickly took the young girl to a deserted alley. He reached out his salty pig hand towards the young girl and said, "If you go along with me, don't mention the membership fee. I can even get you extra cultivation methods pills." The young girl blushed and hesitated. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from ahead, angrily scolding, "Shut up! Such disgraceful behavior, bringing shame upon us!" An old man, with a face full of anger, walked out from the alley. The yellow-haired man quickly explained when he saw the situation. "Uncle, this is Elder Gu, who I was just talking to. I wanted to bring her over to meet you." However, before he could finish speaking, another voice came from above. "I didn't expect the Supernatural Inspiration Club to be so sneaky, even with the unspoken rules." Stetson flew down from the sky with a sword in hand. He instantly unleashed several sword-chi attacks and killed that old man in seconds. Yellow-haired man saw that even the uncle in the spirit-gathering realm was killed in seconds. He decisively turned and ran. At this moment, a cold light flashed by. Stetson's sword rested on the neck of the yellow-haired man. He instructed the yellow-haired man to tell them where their hideout was. The next morning, Stetson gave the yellow-haired man a severe beating. They arrived at a small courtyard. In the courtyard, there are 4 old men and old ladies chatting and brewing tea. However, at this moment, Stetson suddenly walked in and greeted them. "Good morning, transcendent elders." They were revealed by a single remark. Several old men exchanged a glance. They immediately joined forces to flip over the table that was originally used for making tea towards Stetson. Stetson remained completely calm. He slashed the stone table in half with one sword strike. Then he swung out several sword-chi in succession. He instantly dealt with the 3 old men. At that moment, the old lady hiding in the background suddenly threw a flame talisman towards Stetson. Unfortunately, she only hit Stetson's afterimage. The next second, Stetson appeared behind her. He directly knocked her unconscious with a knife-hand strike. After he took care of the 4 so-called transcendent elders, Stetson handed over the scene to Eleanor. When he returned to the school, Eleanor called again. She said that those rogue cultivators have been recruited. The founder of the Supernatural Inspiration Club claims to be the Saint of Fire, and they have hired several rogue cultivators as guardians. They have already made a name for themselves in the cultivation world. Little junior sister comes from a wealthy family and plays a role similar to a mascot within the group. Stetson asked Eleanor to send him a copy of their information. He will keep an eye on their movements. At the same time, he also has some doubts. An organization like the Saint of Fire Supernatural Inspiration Club is essentially a criminal organization with a cultivation background. What is their true goal? Could it be that they simply want to grow bigger to amass wealth? But in any case, he still has to act quickly. He must pull junior sister out of this quagmire. Otherwise, there may be endless troubles. Just as Stetson was thinking, a finger suddenly poked him on the face. Stetson turned his head and saw senior sister pouting and looking at him, as if saying, "Junior brother is a troublemaker. Don't let me fight." Stetson smiled, picked up a potato chip, and put it in senior sister's mouth. It's time for senior sister to find little junior sister. In the evening, the 2 of them invited little junior sister out. They explained the general situation and their identities to her. But little junior sister didn't believe it at all. "My father passed away 20 years ago. Where would a disciple come from?" Stetson didn't offer much explanation. He directly handed her the photo that Master kept close to him. The photo is of her and her mother. Stetson then released little junior sister. A while ago, he had a video call with female Master. Upon learning the truth, little junior sister had a hard time accepting it for a moment. She unexpectedly covered her face and burst into tears. Seeing this, the senior sister beside her immediately told a lie. She didn't know how to comfort others. And not far away in the bushes, a crossbow was aiming at them. With a swish, an arrow shot towards them. Fortunately, senior sister reacted promptly and effortlessly blocked it with a wave of her hand. Seeing that one attack failed, the person decisively fled. Stetson asked senior sister to protect junior sister while he went after the fleeing person. At the same time, he secretly pondered. Had these sneaky individuals finally reached their limit? Heaven and Earth Chi revival marks the beginning of a new era of cultivation for all. There is actually an evil cult organization that recruits members under the guise of a club at the university. Stetson discovered and destroyed one of their dens. Little junior sister suddenly fell victim to an assassination. He saw the mastermind finally appear behind the scenes. Stetson also notified Eleanor while chasing after them. Eleanor immediately received the message and ordered all team members to prepare for battle. They have blocked all the exits of the campus. We must not let the other side escape. Not long after, Stetson used a sword chi to knock him down to the ground. But to everyone's surprise, that person just climbed back up. She immediately threw several poison needles at him. Stetson easily blocked it with a wave of his hand. But wisps of poisonous smoke arose from his hand. It turns out that the silver needles were poisoned. He then saw the other party. Tremblingly took out a pill and swallowed it. He saw the other party take out pills one after another. In addition to the pill that could temporarily immobilize at the half-step nascent embryo realm, Stetson understood that this woman's background was not small. He decided that he must defeat her and extract information. Immediately, he appeared behind the woman in an instant. He grabbed her neck tightly. He directly lifted her up, destroying all her meridians and cultivation achievement. Then he casually threw her to the ground. The rest is up to the female master. But just then, he suddenly sensed a malevolent aura, which clashed with the Taoism cultivation method. Stetson turned his head to take a look, only to see two masked men, one tall and one short, appearing not far away. They were slowly walking towards him. This young man, this woman, stole something that should have been ours. Can you give it to us? We will definitely not treat you unfairly. Stetson looked at the tattoos on their necks. He immediately realized that they were members of the Yin-Yang sect. He decisively stood in front of the woman and replied, "No!" Upon hearing this, the short guy scratched his head. "Do you know that you have picked a fight with the last person you should have today?" With that said, the malevolent aura emanating from the two individuals began to materialize. They rushed straight towards Stetson. Stetson also gathered his strength and condensed a sword chi to break it open. He said coldly again, "I said it's not possible, so it's not possible." Stetson's sword chi spread around as he spoke, instantly dispersing the surrounding malevolent aura. And this also caught the interest of Tall Guy. He plunged his sword into the ground and charged straight ahead. He swung a knife hand strike on Stetson's afterimage. The missed strike caused Tall Guy to immediately change direction and slash towards Stetson's real body again. Stetson was also surprised that the other party could keep up with his 7 stars footwork. It seems that the opponent is not just all talk. They do have some real skills. He then concentrated his sword finger in his hand. He countered with several sword chi. After a few moves, Stetson also realized that if the opponent did not fight him empty-handed, he would probably be really hard to defend against now. However, just as the two were grappling, Stetson suddenly caught a glimpse out of the corner of his eye. Another short guy was actually preparing to take the woman away. Stetson muttered quietly, "This doesn't look good." He immediately launched a fierce attack against the tall guy, appearing to be in a stance ready to win in one move. The tall guy also fell for it, and began to gather energy for a powerful move, while Stetson took the opportunity to turn and rush towards the short guy. The short guy did not dare to resist head-on. He quickly turned around to defend himself. He was pushed back several meters. Stetson picked up the woman from the ground. He looked at the two masked men in front of him, and couldn't help sighing. It's really extraordinary to have the nascent embryo realm in the lurking stage sage Yin-Yang sect. But this woman is an important lead for the Supernatural Inspiration Club. I can't let her die here. At this moment, the tall guy suddenly said a sentence. Had enough playing. Then he casually grabbed at it. Just now, the sword that was stuck in the ground automatically unsheathed itself. The sword came into his hand. I saw him place the sword horizontally in front of him, and said coldly, "Let's end this quickly." With that, he leaped into the air and swung his sword. The malevolent aura transformed into 3 giant snakes and attacked Stetson. Stetson hurriedly picked up the woman and dodged. At the same time, he realized that he couldn't directly confront this sword and malevolent aura combination, as they complemented each other. But it's easy to dodge a spear in the open, hard to avoid an arrow in the dark. Just when Stetson was avoiding the attacks of the tall guy, he was suddenly ambushed again. It turned out that the short guy ambushed him. Stetson couldn't dodge in time, and had to take the hit. He was actually blasted away directly. At this moment, the tall guy suddenly appeared in front of him. He chopped straight toward his face. At that critical moment, a branch wrapped around True Essence suddenly flew over. It hit the hand of the tall guy who was about to swing the sword. Then a pair of fair hands, like jade, appeared in front of the tall guy. She struck out with one hand, sending the tall guy flying out. It turned out to be Senior Sister who had arrived. Stetson also breathed a sigh of relief. He took the branch that Senior Sister handed him. They are the bad guys. At the mention of it, Senior Sister's eyes suddenly turned sharp. She rushed up and began to fight directly. She used Tai Chi, and her right hand manifested a Taiji pattern. She blocked the attack of short guy's malevolent aura. At this moment, the tall guy behind her actually wanted to launch a sneak attack. Stetson rushed up with the branch in hand. The tall guy hastily drew his sword and struck it at Stetson's afterimage. Then the two of them immediately started fighting. There were no more worries. Senior Sister began to go all out. Her true essence turned into palms one by one and struck the short guy. She directly beat him, causing him to vomit blood and fly out. But at this moment, short guy locked onto little Junior Sister and condensed malevolent aura into a pair of large hands, reaching out to grab little Junior Sister. Little Junior Sister was terrified and screamed in fear. Luckily, Senior Sister appeared at a critical moment. She unfolded the Yin and Yang Great Chi formation. She isolated the malevolent aura outside. Seeing that she couldn't beat the short guy, she quickly signaled the tall guy to leave. If they didn't leave today, they would be in big trouble. The tall guy directly swung his sword after hearing that. He forced Stetson back. He then leaped into the air. Before leaving, he didn't forget to leave a harsh remark. "Junior, your sword technique is not bad. Let's have another 300 rounds of battle next time." Senior Sister couldn't bear it as soon as she heard it. She rushed up and was ready to give them each a slap. But she was stopped by Stetson. "Senior Sister, our top priority is to protect little Junior Sister Eleanor, who has already received the intelligence. Next, it's up to them to carry out the mission." But when Stetson turned around, Senior Sister's eyes were filled with tears. It seemed as if she was saying, "Senior Sister is useless. Clearly, they could have been left behind. Master will definitely scold me." Stetson comforted Senior Sister by patting her head. "Senior Sister, not only did you defeat the enemy, but you also protected Junior Sister. You are amazing." After comforting Senior Sister Stetson, he looked at the branch in his hand and thought, "Hopefully Junior Sister can understand something after this fierce battle." Subsequently, due to the trouble caused by the Legend family with ghosts, The Special Investigation Team began to respond to the Yin-Yang sect. However, even so, they still have not succeeded in capturing those two evil cultivators. They only managed to kill one of them. The female cultivator captured by Stetson is named Dana. She was originally an outer disciple of the immortal Medicine Valley. 6 months ago, she was bribed by the Yin-Yang sect to steal secret books from the sect. After the truth was revealed, she was hunted down and killed to keep her silent. Dana was rescued by the Saint of Fire just as she was about to be captured. She took the opportunity to join the Supernatural Inspiration Club, and that's how their enmity began. Last night's scene also stemmed from this encounter. But for Stetson and the others, trouble is only just beginning. Upon learning the truth, the female master immediately slapped little junior sister, expressing her disappointment by saying, "I've raised such a fool. Are you really stupid or pretending to be so? Have you wasted all these years of learning? If it weren't for the two of them, you would be dead by now. Do you know that?" Saying this, tears welled up in the corner of the female master's eye as she raised her hand again, ready to strike. But this time, she was stopped by Stetson. "Female master, you should calm down first. Junior sister, she was also misled by someone." Female master gritted her teeth. She let go of Stetson's hand, turned around, and was about to leave. She instructed the team members standing at the door to give her the result of junior sister's interrogation within 2 hours. Stetson could only sigh helplessly about this. As the saying goes, if you spoil the child, you spoil the rod. In this matter, female master is not entirely without responsibility either. He then squatted in front of little junior sister with a smile and comforted her. "Junior sister, explain clearly to us and then come back with us. Experience true cultivation and meet your biological father in passing." Upon hearing this, little junior sister stopped crying. And perhaps female master also wanted junior sister to stay away from the whirlpool. She readily agreed to Stetson's proposal. The spirit power on Wudong Mountain is clear, coupled with the warm reception of fellow disciples. Junior sister's mood also gradually brightened. But by nighttime, she couldn't help but ask Stetson's senior brother when my dad would come back. Stetson thought for a moment. This is hard to say. Master Breakthrough's Golden Core realm is not easy to cross over in the Divine Path Heavenly Abyss. What's wrong? If you have any concerns, just tell me and senior sister. Junior sister lowered her head and whispered, "I am now trying to make amends for my mistakes. I don't want to make things too difficult for my mother or affect her work. If possible, I want to learn some skills quickly and join that special investigation team." Stetson, upon hearing that little junior sister had such intentions, felt that it was not in vain for them to seek to protect her this time. He immediately expressed, "Cultivation emphasizes cultivating virtue first, then cultivating the mind, and finally practicing the Tao and the Dharma. Your father taught me that cultivation is about pursuing the realm of Tao, not just about strong spiritual power. Your own Tao is fundamental. Do not confuse priorities and misplace the focus." After speaking, Stetson turned around, carrying the bowl and plate, preparing to leave. At the same time, he thought to himself that although he had already extricated himself from the vortex, junior sister still had unresolved issues in her heart. He hoped that Master would return as soon as possible to use love to warm junior sister. "I don't know how the progress is going with the special investigation team over there." Meanwhile, in a university dormitory, a man with glasses is surfing the internet. He is looking for fun games. He suddenly saw a game called the Saint of Fire. Prompt him to click to enter. Civilization is flourishing once again in heaven and earth chi revival cultivation. The discarded disciple of Dragon Tiger Mountain actually announced nationwide through the internet. He plans to publicly auction the Divine Master Talisman. Temporarily end external affairs. Stetson doesn't have too many concerns. The next day, he continues to cultivate and break through the nascent embryo realm. The spirit gathering realm is about comprehending the spiritual intuition of heaven and earth. He began to merge himself with heaven and earth at a preliminary level. The nascent embryo realm is the ability to autonomously control the relationship between oneself and heaven and earth. That means extracting chi from heaven and earth. When inner circulation connects with outer circulation, the nascent embryo realm can thrive when the harmonious and unobstructed inner circulation is achieved, which is the direction that Stetson is currently striving for. However, just at that moment, he suddenly heard Walker's voice. He opened the door, and sure enough, it was Walker. Also coming together are Gabriel and Taoist Master. Stetson quickly bowed to Gabriel. And Gabriel's visit this time was also because he had heard that Stetson majored in swordsmanship, and he was prepared to give him some guidance. This also made Stetson can't help but sigh. He went up to the mountain back then in hopes of paying homage to Gabriel. He didn't expect that through a series of fortunate events, he ended up meeting Master Senior's sister. Perhaps life is just like that. Between gains and losses, there is more than just a mysterious word. After watching Stetson's demonstration of the 7-star sword formation, Gabriel stepped forward to offer comments. Your swordsmanship realm is profound and different from mine. I am not in a position to offer guidance. However, since the establishment of Wudong, it has passed down a set of 7-star sword techniques which differ in many ways from your 7-star sword formation. Take a good look. After speaking, Gabriel began to demonstrate the 7-star sword technique. Stetson was shocked after watching it. This sword technique has similarities with the 7-star sword formation, but it is not the same sword technique. The Star Lord guards the center. The Star Scepter sweeps the 8 directions. Gabriel is indeed extraordinary. Compared to him, my understanding is too shallow despite immersing myself in swordsmanship for 2 or 3 decades. Master's learning is too extensive and has not specialized in one path. Uncle Master is walking the pure path of a sword cultivator. With his guidance, I am sure I can make further progress. After Gabriel finished his demonstration, Stetson immediately stepped forward to seek advice, hoping that Uncle Master could guide him in cultivating. However, Gabriel humbly replied, We can learn from each other. Your current achievement in swordsmanship cultivation may not necessarily be below mine. Let's have a few moves and try it out. At this scene, the little junior sister in the room widened her eyes in excitement. Unable to believe it, she asked, Senior brother, is he really that talented? Senior sister smiled and nodded. And since that day, Gabriel has come here every few days to engage in a duel with Stetson, complementing each other in swordsmanship. During these days, Stetson has also greatly benefited. Until this day, when the two were halfway through their sparring, a burst of hearty laughter suddenly came from the door. You two were just sparring, but be careful not to hurt each other in such a fight, someone said. Stetson and Gabriel both turned their heads to look. Gabriel exclaimed in surprise, Master, how did you come here? Then they heard someone stroke their beard and say with a smile, Your Uncle Master said, Ethan, that guy is lucky to have picked up a world-famous sword. I've practiced swordsmanship all my life, so naturally I have to come and appreciate it. Stetson quickly saluted and greeted the elder master. But he was extremely flustered in his heart. Uncle Master's master. Then isn't he the previous sect leader with the highest seniority in the mountain? Elder Master smiled. He told Stetson not to be restrained by formalities. Then he sat down on the nearby stone chair. He began to give pointers to Stetson. The two of you are too focused on the sword. Do not neglect the Tao. Do not hurt each other. Being too rigid will lead to breakage. A careless move could harm the other's realm. All right. You may begin. Then Stetson and Gabriel continued to engage in a duel, while thinking to themselves, In the previous lifetime, the immortal ranking, hailed as encompassing the entire cultivation world sages, was dominated. However, elders like Elder Master rarely made appearances, so they were not listed. To receive guidance from someone like him is truly a stroke of luck for me as a junior. At this moment, Elder Master started to offer guidance to Stetson, saying, The universe owes me no place. I find refuge in the small space that I occupy. The universe was meant for me as I merge my heart, soul, energy, and spirit into one. He received guidance from Elder Master. At this moment, it seems like Stetson has had a realization. In an instant, the chi around him converged towards him. He just took a deep breath. Chi entered his body through the 7 orifices. In the end, chi reached a peak. Stetson then shouted loudly, "Break through," and reached the nascent embryo realm minor mastery. After breaking through, Stetson can feel it. His spiritual intuition is constantly increasing. His true essence has also become pure. This should be the nascent embryo realm. But the most urgent task for him is to immediately consolidate his realm and prepare for the impact on the golden core. At this moment, the Elder Master is watching Stetson, who is sitting cross-legged to consolidate his realm. He condensed a strand of true essence in his hand. He pressed directly towards Stetson's head. Upon seeing this, Gabriel immediately understood. Master was intentionally leaving behind guidance for reticent. So he took the initiative to take his leave and departed. Later, Elder Master spoke again. Conceal spiritual intuition and calm the mind. Concentrate on realizing Tao. I have been using the sword for many years. Today, I will gift you this Tao. I hope you will comprehend it thoroughly. The first 3 realms of swordsmanship, sword form, sword intent, and sword power, form the foundation of swordsmanship. Most accomplished sword cultivators have first comprehended these 3 steps before advancing to higher realms based on their own understanding. As for the 4th realm, sword mastery, one must choose a sword embryo and nurture it day and night with their own spiritual intuition to achieve the flying sword technique. In the 5th realm, heart sword, before drawing the sword, one must abandon the sword. Transform the tangible into the intangible sword intent, which can be endless and extremely sharp. As for the 6th realm, sword forging, it takes heart sword as the sword soul and Tao body as the sword bone. Once drawn, it overlooks the world with a commanding presence. Shortly after, Stetson opened his eyes again. He was comprehending the swordsmanship 6th realm that Elder Master had just taught. Perhaps that is not the ultimate level of swordsmanship, but it has already pointed him towards a long journey in the future. He will understand it slowly from now on. At this moment, the voice of Elder Master resounded in his mind once again. I will give you a sword intent to comprehend it thoroughly. Surprisingly, this was Elder Master's Tao realm inheritance. Stetson could not contain his excitement as he widened his eyes. He then fainted. Fortunately, Senior Sister appeared in time and caught him. Later, Senior Sister signaled little Junior Sister to keep quiet. She hugged Stetson and walked towards the house. Little Junior Sister, on the other hand, excitedly picked up her phone to capture the precious scene of Senior Sister hugging Senior Brother Princess style. After Stetson stepped into the nascent embryo realm and began to comprehend the realization, he slept for a whole day before finally waking up. However, what he didn't expect was that the sword intent casually mentioned by Elder Master turned out to be a 2 principles sword intent. Just as yin and yang, spring and autumn, eternity, and change can all be referred to as the 2 principles, Elder Master only imparted the sword intent because Stetson has already entered the sword power realm. He easily grasped the profound 2 principles sword technique and gained insights into the path he must take in the future. He returned in just 20 days. Stetson has already made great progress on the path of swordsmanship. In the future, the sword will be his treasure, as well as his protector in Taoist arts. The sword is also his reliance, standing between heaven and earth. However, this peaceful time didn't last long. Eleanor called again. Taoist Master, something is not good. A few hours ago, the Saint of Fire passed through. They issued a national announcement through the deep encrypted network. They plan to auction off the first 2 volumes of the Divine Master's secret talisman of the Dragon Tiger Mountain Tao succession. Stetson's eyes widened in surprise upon hearing this. He instinctively asked, "Where can I buy the Divine Master talisman? How much does it cost? Are there only 2 volumes available, the upper and middle?" Just as the words were spoken, he realized he had been a bit out of line. It's not like in the previous lifetime when times were hard. What use does he have for the Divine Master Talisman? So he quickly cleared his throat to ease the awkwardness and asked, "What's the reaction over at Dragon Tiger Mountain? Have you made contact with them?" Eleanor replied as she searched through the documents. "Yes, we have. And we have also confirmed the identity of the Saint of Fire. He was once a disciple of Dragon Tiger Mountain and studied under the Taoist Master Otis from Dragon Tiger Mountain.